Yo. All right, people, here we go. Sorry about that. I had what the hell? Somebody had logged me out of my
What the
own
hell?
somebody logged me out of my own Adobe account. Anyway, yeah, the holiday got me jacked up, so I forgot to take my shots yesterday, and then I was just about to leave and I was like, "Yo, I got to do it now because if you don't, it like, throws off everything." And yeah, it's just kind of pain in the butt.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, how the holiday is like, it's cool, but it's also like, ugh.
I'm tell you what, I do not like holidays on Monday. It always screws me up, no matter
Oh.
what. It always screws me up. Friday, fine. Monday, no. And I try to treat. God damn it! Like everything is not working today.
I hate
I
Mondays that fall on Tuesdays.
Yeah, I also try to just treat every day like a day. Like I try not to put any semblance on, like Monday, Thursday, Friday, whatever. But that's kind of hard when you're the only one that does it and everybody else, treats it a certain way. Like I used to get super pissed at my crew that would come to work and be like, "Oh, it's Monday." I'm like, "Yo, we work a rotating schedule. We don't have a Monday." But because the people say, "Oh, it's somebody's got a case of the Mondays," then people act stupid on Monday. And I'm just like, bitch, it's the same day as Sunday. Like, it's really stupid. I think it got worse after I came back from Japan because when you go to school there, you go to school 6 days a week. So Sunday is really your only day off. And we it's funny how we love quote unquote time off, but yet we bitch about not being able to get everything done. And it's a culture thing for us. And because I'm quote unquote multicultural, I don't see nobody else complaining about it. It's an American thing. And it's super funny. Like, and we're hardcore about it, you know? And like, why does every holiday automatically mean you have to spend money on barbecue and going to the beach? And maybe it's more so here because I live near the beach. But when I was in the East Coast, also lived near the beach. And then when I was in Cali, also lived near the beach. So I've been around beach, forever, right? And in Massachusetts, what they call a beach ain't beach. That shit's cold as hell. But let there be a holiday, bro. There's hot dogs, hamburgers, beach, all this other bullshit. I'm like, yo, that thing is there constantly. You could go any day after work. Like, you don't have to wait until there's a quote unquote holiday. Like our culture is really good at making us spend money on shit that don't really make sense, and then somehow making that tradition, if you will. Like we got so many made up traditions that are absolute bullshit, and people just cannot see that they have been manipulated. It cracks me up. It cracks me up to no end. Anyway, why did he say that? What is he talking about? Hi, Mary Lou.
Hi, how are you doing?
I don't know. I just find that shit funny to me. It's absolutely hilarious. Like we be serious about it too.
Yeah. Yeah, the Monday holiday I just think is like, just make it Friday. I feel like it would be easier, but we also could always just have a 4-day work week. Everything would get done
Thank you.
if they
I
did Friday.
swear.
Like it really would be fine. But the
Eh,
capitalism of it all.
Well, I mean, and if we're going to do 5, then make it 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if we're going to go all in, go all in. Especially because now we need to play catch up.
Uh-huh.
Like we are behind. We used to be in the front, but then we got cocky, and now we in the back. So if we in the back, then go ahead and let's make it 6 and let's knock it out. But the fact that we still run an agrarian calendar for school, we will ever be behind. Like, there's no need for kids to be off on Saturday and Sunday. But the reason why, because everyone says, well, I need to have time to spend with my kids. And you know what people do on the weekend? Send their kids to somebody else. Soccer, tennis, swimming, basketball, football, karate, like whatever. Like, not that much people actually spending 2 days with their kids. They normally got their kids pawned off on somebody else. Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, church camp, choir, something, right? So, and then it said, of course, over the last couple of years, it's been, kids need to always be doing activities. And the reason why they got to be doing activities is because, well, they don't go outside and play no more. So now they have organized activities. And I don't know, something about organized activities to me, I'm not an expert. I'm just speaking from the dome. It's not the same as when we sat around and Paul said, yo, let's build a fort. And we like, what? How are we gonna do that? I don't know. Let's just go into the backyard and find all kind of things and like make a fort. And we'd be like looking for stuff, going to other neighbors. Hey man, we need that round swimming pool y'all got in the back. That old thing? Yeah, go ahead. All right, cool. We're gonna take that. And then what else we need? Then Paul C would be like, well, we need heating and air conditioning. so so we got to come up with something. But we used to go out and you would figure these things out as kids, right? And then we would have like, a snowball fight and we would build the fort first and then we would have the snowball fight. But kids ain't allowed outside no more, so they don't have those creative outlets. And then, yeah, it's a wonder that all the kids want to be creators, but they don't really know how. Part of it is because they don't have any normal creativity because it got all stolen since they all get stuck in the house. Like they really don't have outside time outside of organized things. And then all the parents are mad that kids have so many activities that they're always busy. I can't tell you there's not a week when we're on a we're on a call and one of our coworkers don't got to leave to go get their kids to take them to some activity. Not ever. Never once. And I was like, yo, you know what we did? We just went outside. And
Okay, Mama's busy. Figure it out.
beat it. Go outside. Yo, Genki Dayo. Where did Tora learn how to ask, if we're doing good in Japanese? Yo, y'all built some cool. Rich said I built some cool forts and tree houses back in the day with pallets and scrap. Yeah, dude, that was fun, dude. Making a tree house, and it wasn't a tree house until at least one kid fell out that sucker, and then broke a collarbone or some shit. But that was part of the deal, learning how to not fall out of the tree house. You know, little did they know treehouse was going to turn into weed den in high school.
You learned how to bounce.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah. Like we were forever trying to sell something, bro. We were forever like just going through the neighborhood. All right, what we gonna do now? Hey, let's rake some leaves. All right, cool. Miss Rosen, you need us to rake these leaves? I was gonna do it. Yeah, you know your husband lazy. We got it. $10. She's like, okay, knock it out. We would just take care of it. Like I don't know what kids do nowadays. Like they don't wash cars, they don't rake leaves. Like they don't have any of that stuff that we used to have. Yeah.
Mm.
There you go, Tora. There you go. Tora says she expanded her reach. All right, Mary
Is
Lou.
Speedify a one device
No,
game?
no. It actually works better when there's multiple devices. And in fact, there's a setting called
Yeah.
pairs. No. What do they call it?
Yeah.
Is it pairs? That's Restream. What do they call it?
I know what you're
Speedify.
talking about though.
Yeah, but it allows you to like just detect another advice and another advice. Okay,
Yeah.
he's good with it.
Yeah.
detect another
It's to
device and go to
detect.
town. What are you
Yeah.
trying to do?
Okay. Yeah. I got to set this up because it's like not on my main computer, but I know I had it. I got it for a to go stream something remotely on the laptop, but like I never open the laptop unless like that very, very rare case. So now I'm like, I
Oh,
need it
because
over
she's slow?
here on this one. It's just being weird. Like I can see in the Zoom, I'm a little behind and I don't know why
I got a little bit
when
behind now
I'm,
too, but that's from the Ozempic.
you know.
You're so
Oh, it says
stupid.
it's connected. It
You're
says
so
it's connected. Ethernet
stupid.
and Wi-Fi and VPN. All right. I don't know. I don't know, man.
What are you VPNing?
What camera are you using?
My
Sony.
Sony uh CVE10, the same one that's always connected. Um, so I don't know. It's neither here nor there.
It is
Let's
called
open up a
pairs.
Notion.
Gonna need a lotion. A calamine
Yeah,
lotion.
because maybe it's not the internet. Maybe it's just the computer.
Gonna mess around. Poison eye. What is Universe. Technically,
Is this big announcement happening?
what
A
big
big
announcement?
announcement?
What big announcement?
Oh, a White House announcement, but it was like supposed to be almost like 40 minutes ago
Oh
and still
God.
nothing.
Oh, you mean 2 weeks from now?
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's one
sorry.
of those, it's like, if it's important, we will all get a push notification, but
No, but
open
yeah,
in a
the
new.
idea of thinking that he Ryan Seacrest and everything always needs some kind of build up. It cracks my nerves up.
It's just people are speculating that it's an announcement from the president, not necessarily Donald Trump. Okay. So we were just at a concert over the weekend, and these kids,
I
so
seen
many
Will's
kids
outfit.
had their point and shoot digital power shot cameras
Come on,
like
gangster.
everywhere, everywhere. And
And
this
they are
kid
paying
next to
so
me,
much money for them.
so the kid who was next to me, I was like asking him about it. I was like, "What's this camera?" He's like, "Oh, it's a power shot, something, something, something." It was my dad's camera, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah." And in the bathroom, all the little cutie girlies are taking their mirror selfie with their like chunky silver power shot, whatever it might have been.
It's crazy how much they are popular now. Like it's kind of
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah. I was like happy to see it. And then like the other thing was this like a little couple that was right in front of us, and I understand this is how people enjoy their concerts, but she spent the whole concert like this. The whole concert filming it. And
But
I was like,
why?
"Baby girl, just put it down." And then her like boyfriend's holding her and he's like right next to her. So they're together, holding each other, holding up two phones in front of their faces. And I was like, "Oh my good, you guys." Film a little bit. I understand. Like it's fun to capture some memories, but unless you're live streaming getting coins for it, I don't know. Let's watch the concert.
Well, I think it's the culture of like I'm gonna catch something. Okay, so Coldplay incident wouldn't happen if it wasn't for that. But it became such a cultural moment that the person who did it is a temporary hero, right? The original
Hmm.
video, because all the news outlets around the world went to go watch it millions of times. The original video has probably been to 40, 50 million views. I don't know. I've never seen the original video. I've only ever seen the things. Nobody knows who you are because it gets stolen quickly and replicated by bots, and then you lose the credit. But however, the original video did get a lot of hits. Now, the way, TikTok pays, that probably doesn't mean much in the pocket. Maybe 100, couple $100, whatever. However, I guess they can say that they're the one that posted the video, but like even when it was on the news, you rarely saw the little at Mary Lou Mando shot this. But
Yeah, they didn't give them credit.
I
No.
think there's something about thinking that you're the one that found this one thing. So now everybody goes to the ocean and puts a fishing line in the water with no understanding of what to do with they catch, if they catch it, or how they're going to catch it, or what the point is. But they just all got. So imagine you go to the beach and everybody's standing at the beach with a fishing line in the water. That just yes, it's kind of silly. It is kind of silly. The jacked up part is what becomes the blame is the phone, but it's not the phone. Blaming the phone to me is the same thing as blaming the gun. A gun don't know how to do shit. It's a piece of metal, right? It could. A gun is totally happy shooting at paper targets. A gun is
I
totally
just
happy.
imagine this little gun being like, "Yee, paper
You know what I'm
targets."
saying? A gun is totally
He's just
happy in the
happy.
backyard taking out beer bottles. It's the person that points it at another person and does something with it. And so the minute that we took the responsibility away from ourselves and put it on the phone, then that conversation gets elevated because God forbid we take responsibility for what we're doing, right? And every news story, every person of interest, always be like, phones are ruining people's lives. No, people are ruining people's lives. Phone ain't did shit. Half the time the phone don't work because the battery dead. So why the hell is it the phone's fault? It ain't the phone's fault. It's you. And we keep doing that.
Mm.
Every time something comes up, is alcohol is bad, drugs are bad, weed is bad. No, weed is a plant whose virtues have not yet been discovered. Like it ain't. It was just as cool sitting in the ground minding his own damn business. We took the poppies out the flower and converted them into heron, and then made people cray cray. We took the leaves off the tree and smashed them up in Nicaragua and turned it into cocaina. That leaf was minding its damn business in the forest, doing what it do. And now we got Escobar sitting in the pool, looking around. You don't know what's coming next. If you saw the movie, you saw the movie. But
Listen,
yeah,
I gotta tell you,
it's super funny how we
okay,
love to do that shit. Like, yo, it's our responsibility, fam. Come on.
uh, I hate how all AI right now is like so optimized to the negative, to the positive, to the redemption arc, to the there's like a way that whenever you're brainstorming with any of the AI now, it all has like kind of fed on each other and it's like the same. It's all the same. And we can't
Well,
like
that's because if we tell it to follow YouTube and YouTube's
yes.
methodology, that's
Yeah.
YouTube. So if anything, it's snitching on
Yeah.
us again, right? We're good with that as well.
Hmm. Yeah, but I don't like it on YouTube either.
Huh?
I don't like that on YouTube either. So it's like I'm brainstorming like kind of our ideas with our
Yeah.
GPT, right? And it's like, and no matter what I'm saying, it keeps bringing me back to a redemption arc, like a negative into a positive. How I found my spark again. And I'm like, bitch, we never lost the spark. Don't make it a redemption arc. Just give me some ideas.
Yeah. So
And it
tell it
keeps
that.
going back to it.
What happens
Yeah, I
when you
did
tell
tell
it
it.
that?
I'm saying I told it that, and it just gives me. It's like, great idea, bestie. Here's some more of the same.
Oh yeah. Who the hell taught it how to say bestie, Mary Lou?
It's not me. I like wiped this thing.
Mm-hmm. Sure you didn't. Sure you didn't.
I think it talks to everybody like that. I think it talks to everybody
Mine
like
don't
that
talk to
now.
me like that.
Yeah, like okay.
No, it don't. But I never thought it to say bestie. I would probably punch it in the
Yeah.
face if it did. You're the only person allowed to call me that. I'd be like, listen, bitch, let me explain you something.
Yeah. Okay. What ideas you got? What do you want to talk about?
Oh my god, I'm on shots today. Let's see, what are we talking about? Paul said, I just noticed someone left a my size bottle of wine in the garden next to me. Well,
Oh.
maybe they was trying to tell you something, dude. Maybe they're trying to tell you, hey Paul, come over
Oh.
here, crack the bottle and twist the cap. Wait, anybody remember that song? Wait, don't get
I
that song
think you
stuck
need
in
to
my
go
head.
investigate that.
I know. Like the question is it full or is it empty?
Hmm.
Um, what was what was I talking about yesterday? Oh, it actually this came up from David Hunt the other day, and I made a video similarly talking about the whole concept of making sort of ugly videos, right? And chat, if you guys got anything you want to throw it in, please do. But I was like, so we had a group session on Saturday, frick this damn holiday, and Michelle brought Mikey along, right? Her son. And then, he was asking questions about his content and he was really feeling the struggle about feeling the need to want to do the game that's popular. He makes gaming content, obviously, versus what he really wanted to do. And then, of course, we all were like, bro, you got to do exactly what you want to do. Never mind, following the popularity arc because that would take you out real quick. Like pretty soon you just ain't feeling it. And he's like, yeah, I'm already not feeling it. So, he gave us the hows and the whys and he was explaining it. And uh, actually, Luis was like, bro, make that. And he's like, what? Like, they just don't even see it. It was like, you just gave us the whole synopsis of the pain that you're feeling, like, trying to make something that you don't really want to make. But that's the video you should make, is explaining to other people, like, that feeling. Bring back that I don't want to make this shit feeling. Because if you're stuck because of a pain point, no matter what your content is or what you do or why you do it, if you're stuck, trust you me, you ain't by yourself. And especially when it comes to certain types of content, people need to know what not guardrails, if there's a pothole, right? Or like when you're driving back in the day, I don't know if people do this much anymore because I don't really see it. Back in the day, if you turn the corner and you saw a bunch of people flashing their lights at you, what did that tell you?
If you turn in the corner, people are flashing their
Right, you're
lights at
driving on
you.
the freeway and you got a big ass corner and you come around the corner, not like a
Uh-huh.
physical right turn, but like you go around the bend, let's call it that.
Uh-huh.
And every car that passed by you would toggle their headlights. What did that tell you?
Yeah. Should you need to turn your lights on?
See, that's new school.
There's
Old
something.
school, it meant there's a cop.
Oh, I see. I see.
Right? Because
Oh, Aubrey knows.
yes.
She's like, it's the police.
It's the police, right? See, maybe because we from the hood, but see, if you turn your lights off, on, that means your headlights are off. But if you flick the the high beams, click, 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 that tells you the popo is there, waiting to ticket you up, right? And so before Waze told everybody that there's a cop nearby, everybody always flicked the high beams to let you know that the popo was there, so you slow down, right? And to this day, I still do it, but I often wonder if anybody knows what that is. And maybe that died with, the 45 plus. But in that same vein, if you hitting a brick in your content, no matter what your content is, right? Look, David got it. He said it was the popo. If you hit that brick, no matter where it is, somebody else is in your same spot. Like somebody else is in your exact same spot. Right? So, like, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of convo in Rich's camp about what we fixing to do for premiums come holidays, considering, we got like whole ass countries that won't even ship to the U.S. no more. So, like, even though, Rich might not be the person to make negative content, how do you work your way around it? When everything is negative, how do you find positive content? Like, how are we going to do it? Like, what are you going to turn that into? So, yeah, that's cool. But seeing the screen of what you wrote, I kind of like this topic of, like, how you fell in love with being a creator.
Yeah, that's where I was getting at first with the cameras, like thinking about the digital cameras and stuff like that.
like
So it could totally be the other topic as well, but that's just
No,
what
I like
fell out
it
of my
because I
head
think
right now.
I think people need to remember that. I'm about to say bad words. Wait, this is my show. I can say bad words. People need to remember that shit because they be getting off track way too quick. And I think it's important to remember that. To remember that.
Good.
Shit.
Do you have like one of your first cameras in arm's reach?
Not first, but I got old school cameras. Did I bring it back down?
Yeah.
Actually, hold on. Hold that thought. Oi, Payne!
It's mine.
Old. Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, I know where mine is too. Yeah, I want to know what are you guys' first cameras? Because I'm sure what like my thinking with this is that on how you fell in love as a creator origin story is thinking about that like excitement
I
before
don't want to
internet, right?
give
Like we
I don't want to give Gretchen the pleasure, but yeah, we're ready. He got old.
like we were just like excited to have a camera. It was like pre-internet. Okay, I'm gonna grab mine real quick. It's just inside the closet.
Damn, of course I got sinuses, and she got me out here dusting off dusty ass cameras. Gretchen is going to have a field day. Julie, I want to ride in the car with you and just let Jesus take the wheel. Julie should know by now that Doc is foolish. Oh, which battery is this? An M battery? I probably still got a functioning M battery somewhere. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, snap. Okay. I got one more thought. Let me see if it's still available. Ugh.
Yeah, this will be fun. The C920 Logitech C920. That's like the little circle one. Nikon 30. That's a good one. That's good cameras. Good cameras. The one that's my first one, the actual camera, I don't know. I have it in a box somewhere, but I have a picture of it. GRDVP.
Oi! See? Okay. All right, let's go. He ready.
Yes. Let's
He's
go.
ready.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm ready. We're just gonna talk to you about your creator origin story. We'll just riff on that.
Okay, let's fire this up. Stop the broadcast. Fire off the new broadcast. It's recording now. Counting it down. In 5, 4.
I know for a fact that a lot of our community, when we first picked up a camera, was before the internet was a thing, before content creation in the sense of what it is now is a thing. And I really, really was curious to hear about when you fell in love with making videos or taking photos with cameras, because I think a lot of us want to be content creators now because that's just a love we've had for a really long time. And that's just the way to share the result of that love right now. But I want to know how you fell in love being a creator. Doc, tell me.
Man, so going back to sort of what you're saying was, I think I remember, okay, maybe first is being a group creator, and that was being in school and having to do plays or choir or even band when we would have to perform at the Christmas concert, we were like Jimmy Fallon in with the xylophones and whatnot, and you just couldn't wait. You got your two sticks, you just like dun, 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 dun. And you look at Roger, and Roger's like dun, 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 dun. We would just
You're like, yeah.
so back then I didn't even think we called it xylophone. We was on, I think it's called glockenspiel, if that's the right word. I think that's the right word. We was on
Oh.
glockenspiel, but I remember like maybe fourth or fifth grade when you first got into sort of doing a group sort of concert or performance or show, like that was bomb, right? Halloween parade was bomb. And then round about fifth grade, I started playing clarinet. And so we were actually part of band and do it. Maybe it's fourth grade, doing performances and things like that. And I just lived for performance day, right? I used to practice super hard. I would always get the solos because I would practice super hard. And that was kind of a thing. Like I really enjoyed that. Um, and as a family, we after church would gather in the living room and we would do showcases. And there was a show back in the day called the Gong Show. And I think my original love for it came from watching Jackson 5. And I guess my first, like, sort of fell in love with music. Actually, my first ever record, this is going to be super funny because it's technically an old record. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to tell this on the internet. There was
Do it.
Chuck Berry, and he came out with a song called My Dingling. And I was maybe like 5 or 6. And the first 45 I ever bought with my own money was Chuck Berry's My Dingling. And so when my uncles them heard about it, every time somebody came to the house, I used to have to get my little tennis racket and perform Chuck Berry. And if you know anything about Chuck Berry, he used to do the thing with the guitar, and then like, you know, like he had these like little kick steps that he used to do. It was crazy. Like he was one of the baddest performers. Prince was the next reincarnation of Chuck Berry. Like everything was an entertainment to him, right? And then I remember the second record I ever bought was Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog. She was a good friend of mine, Three Dog Night. And yo, I used to perform them joints in the living room for the family. Like sort of like how we have karaoke in our culture, right? And I think I knew from then like how much I really loved it. So when I saw Eddie Murphy Raw and he busts out that intro of like being a little kid in the living room performing for the family on Sunday, I knew exactly, like that hit home for a lot of people because that's just what we did. That's just what we did. Like you got together after church and then you performed in the living room. So where that turned into like this is going to be a thing was my cousin Tommy was teaching me how you could take a song and put it on one turntable and then put another turntable and use something called a crossfader to make the songs blend with each other so that the music never had to stop at the party. Because, you know, in the old school days, you stacked all the records and then the needle would go like this and then the record would drop and the needle would come back and go back to the record and play the next one. So there was like a 10-second gap in between music while you wait for the to go. It was like, it took too long. And so that could just like ruin the groove if you was in the corner getting your slow dance on and you had to take those 10-second
Yeah.
breaks, that was ruining your groove, right? So
When you
when Tommy
realize like
showed
who,
me
who you're
that,
standing with, you're like, oh
yeah,
shoot.
yeah, you like the ugly lights start to kick in. You're like, what? So my cousin Tommy had showed me that you can make the records connect. And at that time, they wasn't even about doing it on beat. They was just about making it flow. So I was probably like 10, maybe 15, 10 to 12 when I learned that. And I went crazy. Like I saved all my money. I bought 2 turntables and a microphone. And then I was just like, you know, throwing parties on the weekends in my backyard with my crew. And then we learned about like how hip hop was making them work where they stuck together and there was no gap. and like the beats actually wrote each other. It wasn't just blending. And then I was like, oh, I was hooked. And from the minute I was hooked and getting like, admiration from the fans at school, it was over. Like, DJing all of the events at school, throwing house parties at my friend's barn, like making money on the side. Like I knew I was stuck. I was stuck like Chuck. And so once that first video camera came along and MTV was out there, was like, yo, we wanted to just document the parties so that we could use them to show other people why they should have been there. And the only thing you could do was record it with your little camera. At that time, it was big, but you record it with your camera and then take your camera over to people's house and show them why they're supposed to be at the party. And then we had the version that we showed the parents. And then we had the version that we showed the kids. The parents didn't see the keg in the back, the little red solo cups and everything was popping off. But yeah, it really started out from doing performances in the living room to then in turn like DJing parties in my friend's barn because it was big and in the country, and all you had to do was get there and the party was on. So I was hooked early. And once I figured out I could write rhymes too and make up my own little, chants and stuff in the middle, oh, it just exploded. So yeah, long before the internet, I was making music, performing, like opening up for local concerts and eventually large concerts. And yeah, so when YouTube came out, it was a no-brainer for me because I was already an entertainer. It's kind of crazy. I never thought about that. It's been, I just like, well, I just started doing YouTube. No, you had a different,
No.
you had a different leg in,
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's different. You're not just starting. Like you've always been an entertainer. You've always been fascinated by the getting in front of people to share your creations, right? Like
Yeah.
whether it's through mixing music or, you know, like your music. I still want to see some of your music. Like there has to be footage somewhere. I know there's footage somewhere of you and your group on
I mean,
stage.
we were on like VHS-C, but somebody got it. I think also too, one thing that makes a big difference is like in our household, when you watched movies on Saturdays and Sundays, it was normally the musicals or the Jerry Lewis or the Shirley Temple. Like we watched entertainment style films. You know what I mean? We weren't watching, I don't know what you would call them. I wouldn't call them dumb, but we weren't watching like, your basic whatever movies. I think that was even just a culture of the time. Maybe even the only type of movies that we were allowed to make were entertainment and funny, almost a little bit of Al Jolson kind of thing. We weren't really allowed to make movies where they had any point. So maybe that's just the culture of where we were, as colored folks back in the day. The only movies until Roots came along, I don't even think we had any real serious movies, except for like, Sidney Poitier, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Like that was maybe the first semi, there's a message in this type of movie that's not like, Disney, but I always watch Disney TV shows. Seeing Uncle Remus, didn't realize how racist it was at the time. But when I done seen An Elephant Fly, you also sing that song like it was going out of town when I was a little kid. But that was what was presented to us. Like, I think maybe one of the only things we were supposed to do back then was be entertainers. So I think that's where it picked up on. And I think so many people in our culture are very entertainment oriented because that's what we were used for. So we're just good at it,
Yeah. So your roots of entertaining is from learning about this crossfader and then developing into video. Like I love how you connected, like the reason you were taking video is so you could get other people to know how fun it was at the party. So
the marketing game was
from
on point too then.
it was marketing. It totally was like the FOMO, right? It was like, how can we use this tool to spread the word, essentially? All of it, right? With the music, with the video, with the speaking, even theater, right? Is that like you have to physically do it, and then like you can expand your reach through technology. What is one of the first cameras that you were like, ooh, exciting, I need this?
From a still camera standpoint, like I started with Polaroids And then Kodak, I forgot what Kodak even called it, but it was this big thing about yo big and brown, bar across the top, and you would take photos. Prior to that, it was Polaroids. Like I had a Polaroid Instamatic. I still got one back there somewhere where you just, took the photo and you pull the paper out and you flip. You don't have to shake it, people. Shaking is actually bad for it. You just need to turn it upside down. So it was probably from Polaroids back in the day, but I guess when I decided I was going to do it from a photography standpoint, it would have been the K1000 and the Rebel. The K1000 at school, because that's what they gave us, and then the Rebel, because that was the first one that I bought on my own. I was in the military, and one of the things about military is you can go overseas and buy cameras for really cheap or whatever. So I remember buying a Rebel from the PX or something. Like, I think EOS was brand spanking new. Nobody even knew what it was. And the fact that they still called the new ones like Rebel, like I wanted an A1, but I couldn't afford an A1. That's Canon, old school Canon. So I got a Rebel. And then Rebel migrated it way up until got 30D. And then in the back, I still have my 40D body back there somewhere, but this is a 30D way back in the day. This thing is dumb. It don't know how to do much. But it was an
Oh.
EOS. And then I got 40D, and then 50D, and then 5D, and 5D Mark 1, 2, 3. And then I switched to Sony because, mirrorless just made it better. Mirrorless made that whole situation lighter, easier, whatever. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Paul, what are you sharing with us? Is this a camera? Is this your first camera?
He's shaking it like a Polaroid picture.
Yep, the Kodak Brownie.
Oh, yeah,
damn,
that's
that's
what Gretchen's sharing.
Yeah.
The
So
Kodak Brownie.
that
That's
old
fun.
Kodak, I can't remember the name of it, but it was kind of like the Polaroid where the papers came out, and you had like a bar that goes on the top. It was instant camera. I totally forget the name of it. I'm gonna come to me in a second. But yeah, so that's sort of how that went. And I got some old. I'll bring it next time. If I thought about it, I would have brought it today. I got some old Nikon upstairs from like way back in the day. It was like super super crazy. But
So,
yeah,
what was the camera that was in rotation for you when you started YouTube?
probably this right here. This is a old Sony DV camera. I have the high 8 version too. I started with the high 8 version, but that quickly became the DV version. And this one, you just put a little thing in the side, the door opens up, you had the screen. Sony was about that flip out screen like a long time ago, but then Panasonic got mad at them, started charging them money. So there was this version, and then there was the vertical one that was called the PC9. But these were my cameras back in the day, and I used to shoot everything. Like this thing has so many miles on it, mostly car races, you know, car shows, a lot of that, a lot of the behind the scenes, like how you built it, like what kind of transmission, like, these kind of things during the drag races. But this little guy right here went everywhere. This thing was crazy. So what was nuts though was you had to take this and you had to plug in a 1394 Firewire cable and plug it into the iMac. And then you had to press capture on the iMac and you had to press play on here and you had to wait 60 minutes for it to
For it to
move.
play through?
If you had a 60-minute tape, it took 60 minutes to capture. And then when you would make your little edits, it would take 4 hours to render. And that was fast. And then after, you're like, oh, I made a mistake. So you got to go back and you got to do it again. And there's another 4 hours to render. So on average, you was 20, 30 hours of rendering time. I remember pressing render and go to bed and then wake up and it
Yeah.
failed. Biatch!
You're right. And you're like, oh,
All right,
gonna
so I
take a whole
started
other day.
again, go to class, come back. Biatch! Like it was a pain in the ass. It was a pain in the ass, but we did it. And we did it because nobody else had the patience to do it.
mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of crazy. Like I really think, and I'm guilty of it as well. I'm not going to act like I'm different. We are so unappreciative of what we got right now. Like, if my grandma recognized how unappreciative I am about this content life right now, she would slap the Jesus back in you. Look, he germaphobe. He got to wipe. He touched the dirty camera. Now he got to clean his hands.
Yes. It's been sitting on the shelf.
It's been on the shelf. I should actually lubricate this some bitch and fire it up and see if it worked. The hard part gonna be though getting the stuff off of it, cause like now where I'm gonna plug that firewire cable into. Like I don't even know if I
Yeah.
can find that old little firewire small, firewire 400 into like the modern day firewire cable. It might exist. I'm gonna look for it because it would be super interesting. And I even have boxes of tapes that I don't even know if they're on there or if they still play. Because I don't know if people know this. They told us to put stuff on CD because it's gonna last forever. Yo, many CDs won't even turn on right now because they died. They died
They
just sitting
corrupted,
there
yeah.
on the plastic. Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
kind of
my
crazy.
my first one, like, so the actual camera, I have it in a box somewhere because I was trying to get it to work, but it was a
Yes, so the vertical.
JVC
Yeah.
something or another. Is it focused now? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You see it. You get what it's like. That was the coolest thing. I carried it everywhere, and that box is full of the mini DV tapes. And I was trying to fire it up because I was like, I got to get this footage off of here because you can't just. It's not like the other, like whatever's the older one that you can put it in a VHS
Yeah,
adapter
VHSC.
and you can transfer it. The mini DVs don't. Everything I looked up, they're like, it's already digital. Just plug it in. And I was like,
No, it's not
it's
the
more than
same.
just plug it in. There's
Yeah.
more to it than that. Just plug it in, but like the camera won't turn on. So I was like, maybe I'll find some kind of mini DV camera off of eBay that I can work with. But
So Tom
that
recently
camera,
shared this clamshell, and I used to have one of those clamshells, and it was like yo big, and it's a little teeny VCR with a screen that you use to play mini DV
oh right,
tapes. And I used to use the living crap out of mine. Actually, there was an editing system back in the day where you took two of those and a set of jog wheels, and you could edit off of. And yeah, I probably got to go find one of them so I can get the things off of my mini DV tapes because I got some home movies up in that joint. I got some concert footage. I have somewhere on a tape a video of me and Debrat having a freestyle battle.
fun.
Like craziness.
Yeah, that's
Craziness.
the archive. We need that. And there's like services like you can send your tapes off to go get digitized for you, but I had this camera all through college and I just don't know.
Yeah, that's
I'm like,
exactly
I
me.
don't know.
I'm like, I don't know
I don't
what kind of
know.
footage might
I,
show
I
up.
need to go through this
I holler.
myself. I need to go through this myself.
Holler.
The
Okay, so
internet's
in
too
that
easy to
same
get to.
token, when did you look at it like YouTube was going to be a thing? Like when did it click to you?
When I knew YouTube was going to be a thing, I wasn't yet creating yet. So that camera would have already been obsolete at that point. I don't know if I had like maybe just had like a power shot, like some little power shot camera. And about, I want to say 2007, because I was in Orlando and about to move to LA. And I was like with a group of quote unquote filmmakers. And I say quote unquote because they never went on to do anything. They just like to talk. And I was like, we should be putting these videos, these short films, like we could make a show right now and put it on YouTube. And it was, no, that's cat videos. No, that's not going to be a thing. No, nobody's going to go on the internet to watch videos. But I knew it was a thing. And then I remember when Netflix started streaming House of Cards, and it wasn't like get the hard copy, like you could just watch it from the browser. And I was like, I knew it. I knew it. So when I was going to start doing YouTube, the camera I got was the G7X uh, first version, and this was like height of Casey Neistat when I was finally like, I'm going to start creating for myself because prior to that, I had made some videos and they're still like unless they were audition videos or they were, just other kind of projects, but they were shot on really like just too complicated cameras, right? That required people, right? So it was like I had access to a red camera and we were shooting with that, and access to, I don't even remember what the names of them were. They weren't my cameras, but it was like if I wanted to shoot something, it became such a production. And I was like, I don't think it has to be this complicated. And the reason nothing got done is that it required wrangling too many people because not on my accord, but the people I was trying to like help produce for wanted it to be complicated because they wanted that feeling of complicated.
Mm-hmm.
They want, that I want to feel like we did something really hard. So I'm gonna make it hard. And I know that our loved ones here like to do that to themselves.
You make it hard, babe. You make it hard on me. Listen, you said the thing that just blew my mind right there in two thoughts. The first one was I too, being from the industry, was inundated by, and you know what? It's not gatekeeping, it's not the right word. And I don't even want to put it as easy as naysayers, but there was a whole bunch of folks in my circle who made me second guess. No, I can't say made me. I second guessed it myself, but back they help support my argument on that side. Right? Anytime you go to do something, no matter what it is, and you got the clash in parentheses, right? Every decision you make is the clash. Okay? So what do I mean by that? iPhone 17 is popping. You're going to watch the keynote. And then Friday, September 12th, you're going to be able to put your pre-order in. I'm just guessing, but I just know how these things work. And you're going to send me a birthday message, and then you're going to go to the Apple Store, and you're going to try to order your phone. Or not. Why not? Well, because the clash is going to come in. Should I stay or should I go now? Dun, 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 dun. Should I stay iPhone 16 or should I get iPhone 17 and there'll be trouble? Dun, 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 dun. So it's got to let you know, should I stay or should I go? Everything is a clash. So I said, should I make videos for YouTube? Yes. And then my people said, it's only cat videos. No one's going to watch it. The platforms, whatever. You don't really know. You can make so much money doing what you do, making regular films, doing weddings, like making commercials, the stuff that we get paid for. Or you can just throw stupid videos into the air. You don't skateboard no more, so you're not making skateboard videos. No one wants to see the rest of that crap. Oh, by the way, the quality is so small. The videos are only 320 by 240, pre-YouTube actually. And it's a waste of the skill that you have. So with the clash talking, and I'm already in professional camera space, right? The idea of taking something from a digibeta and squishing it down to a 320 by 240 little thing just seems silly. But the best quality of real player videos, let's talk about where your man's came from. The best quality of real player videos came when they were shot on a pro camera and digitized backwards using the radius rocket to get it into that format that we can then in turn put on real player. And so I kind of danced back and forth and back and forth. And I built a YouTube channel. I went to Japan. I was making short films in school in Japan with my homies. And I came back and I was like, yo, I should, move this short film and put it up on YouTube. But I'm like, well, YouTube doesn't even have that many people in Japan. No one's going to understand the Japanese language part of it, blah, blah, blah. Just kind of like dancing back and forth. And I just kept coming up with excuses as to why the YouTube situation wasn't going to work. And then the first ability to put video onto a memory stick came out. And then I was in like Flint. I'm like, I don't have to digitize this mess no more? You mean I could just put it on the memory stick and copy it from the memory stick or the compact flash into Final Cut 2.0 and, chop it up. Oh, I'm going to get famous. I'm going to do this. And every time I was doing that, my dad or my other friends was like, yo, you should just go make real video. You can make more money. You're not really making money on YouTube, whatever. 2014, I got an invitation into the YouTube wasn't even called partner program at that time. I forget what they called it, but I got an invitation into the YouTube program, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna give you the opportunity to make some money on this video." And I got my first $35 check, and I was like, "You made 35 bones?" I was so happy. Dad, I made 35 bones in a YouTube video. He said, "You made $400 this weekend wrapping cables up and putting them in the box at the concert. What the fuck are you doing?" Bubble popped. It was just kind of funny. But I think I knew that YouTube was going to pop off because there's a guy named Tom York. He played with a really small garage band called Radiohead. And he released an album. And the album was called Tomorrow's Modern Boxes. And they did it as a internet only release around about 2014. And that's when I knew for sure. Like I always had inklings, but yo, the ink dried the day that Tommy and Radiohead, I should call him Thom, because who the hell spells their name Thom, Tom? Anyway, Thom York, he put out, I love Radiohead. I don't know if people know that about me. Radiohead is one of my favorite groups ever. And they released that album as an internet only thing. Like you went to their site, you bought it, you got it from BitTorrent, but like there was no way to get it from any regular store. You couldn't walk in the towers. You had to get it from the internet. I think at that moment on, I was like, looks like we made it. This is going to be the thing.
Yeah.
And I had just gotten into the YouTube program at that time too. I was like, oh yeah, this is the thing. People are going to start paying us to do these things. And so, yeah. But I always kept one foot in the quote unquote real world. And if anything, I think that slowed it down the most.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I was trying to hedge those bets.
Right. But like also that's smart business moves, right? Like because you were in a place where you were around people who were actually making that their business.
Yeah.
Where not everybody got to see that was a possibility. There's like this is like just the one risk was the one risk that was available. Like even pre making videos, I had like I don't know, just like a webcam for like Skype calls, like call my family from college and stuff like that. And I was doing like a Zanga blog, and I was like getting into like taking like self portraits, right? Early, like what would be selfies, right? But like I would like take pictures, and I was like, oh, I like these pictures. Like I also was trying to get into modeling, and like I was practicing my poses. And I had like a boyfriend at the time, and I was like, oh, look at these pictures. And he's like, wow, you really like looking at yourself.
What an asshole.
And like at the time, I just was like so embarrassed, right? I was like, oh, it's like I felt such shame. And I look back and I like, I want to send the message back to that girl of like, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's how you make money. And people are making a lot more money because they didn't listen to the shame and just went with it harder, faster, like the hedging the bets, right? Where it's like, oh, maybe it's better if I go do something else behind the scenes, not be looked at.
Oh my God. That's crazy that one comment can derail you. I was looking for this video because I used to post videos on Vimeo because I thought, as also a conversation around the
Vimeo.
filmmaking space back in the day.
Vimeo was serious.
Yeah, only like the real people, real video makers are putting their content on Vimeo. Like only the people that don't know what they're doing are putting it on YouTube. And so I was all in on Vimeo. I remember I got videos where I was talking smack about my YouTube channel and how I stopped putting it on YouTube because Vimeo, the quality was so good. And Vimeo's still around, but YouTube was like, yeah, sit down. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of funny. But like I was shooting these videos, and this going back to what Mary Lou said about trying to make it complicated. I was shooting these videos with Sony Cine Alta or F9. Like we're talking like really expensive cameras. And I was shooting them using very expensive microphones. And like my production days were just dumb, like mad dumb, because I was spending so much time trying to get that Vimeo quality. But I'm looking at old videos on here, like my Dollar Shave Club videos from like 2012, or I was doing a talk about the iPhone 4S on Vimeo back in 2011. Uh, my old podcast where I'm talking about Moleskine was back in 2010. So I take it back. I got into the YouTube Partner Program back in like 2010. I thought it was 14, but now that I have a better common sense, it was actually more like 2011. But they didn't have a name for it yet. I got videos about buying sake, and this is from 13 years ago. So it was published September 9, 2011, 8:41 a.m.
Wow.
8:41 a.m. Like, and I'm shooting these joints at this point on a 5D, right? Let me pop the link into the chat for
Yeah.
anybody who wants to go see like how cray these joints were. So nah, man, I undersold how long I've been doing this because I know I started YouTube in '06, but I kind of had backed off of it for a little while. And then I went looking into other things. So when I tell people I was making video podcasts since like 2009, I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. And back then, and just because it wasn't on YouTube, I forgot about these Vimeo joints from way back in the day. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, these Vimeo joints was like, wow, he was out there. He was out there in these streets. Like,
Yeah.
in my co-working space recording videos, and there's stuff that's on Vimeo that I deleted because the funny thing about Vimeo is you had a what is it, like you had a limit as like how much you could put on there before you started to like run out of space. But I got like 80 something videos on Vimeo. Holy shnikes. Cooking show that I produced way back then. Like, yo, this man was about this life.
And you even have your pronouns on there. Wow.
Yeah. Well, Vimeo was ahead of the game back then. Unfortunately, this thing doesn't
Seriously.
let you sort. It doesn't let you sort by like oldest, because I'm trying to find what is the oldest. But they out here. I mean, they are out here. I did a review of an app called Seat Guru when it was iPhone like 3. I still use Seat Guru to this very day. Damn,
Look
son.
at you in your tie.
Oh, you know what
Is
it
it What's on
was.
my iPhone podcast?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I showed up.
It's so sweet. It's
I
so
showed
sweet.
I
And
showed
like,
up back
this
then.
footage looks good.
Yeah, because it was
So is
shot
it
with
worth it? It
the
was
crazy
worth it.
camera. Look, okay, here's one that I'm gonna actually show.
Multicam too.
I'm
Ooh.
gonna show you because I don't think people understand like how dumb it was. Stop making noise. Be quiet. Be quiet. I don't think people understand when I tell them that I was so busy about the quality that I was like legit screwing myself. But when I show you this microphone that's in this shot right here, this is a $20,000 microphone. Because I
What is
thought
it?
it's called the Sony C80. And
Oh, yeah.
this cameraman action, that was my dad. like we set up, right? I had
Yeah.
full ass green screen back in the day, like professional green screen, right? I'm shooting this, talking into what is now a $20,000 mic. This is the mic that Whitney and Rihanna and Michael Jackson and Beyonce, they all sang into. Many, many albums were created on this microphone. And when I hear people say that, SM7B is $400, that's expensive, I'm like, bitch, sit down. Like, not even close. That's not expensive at all. Because you don't know where mics come from or what they do or, the background. And that's not your fault. I'm just saying, like, it's not expensive. We have no idea how good we got it right now. When you can buy a $99 mic, dude, Google Music was in beta. Did you see that? Did you see that clip? Google Music was in beta. The Play Store, as we know it, was in beta. How about that, son?
Wow.
Yo, we had uniforms. We had iPad 2s. What we doing the whole podcast from? Me and Jerry we thought we was going to be real. We was going to be the next Leo Laporte.
Oh,
And I was already
like
working
my
with
old.
Leo back then, but Yeah, it's crazy. Like, unfortunately, I just wish people would. Sorry, wrong seed. I wish people would respect the game for like how far we have come and what we're doing. And this was like 2 hours to set up, basically an hour to shoot, and another 2 hours to take it all back down. And editing what at this time was 720p video took days. DAYS days. Like the idea of uploading a 1 gig file took all day. Cause you ain't had but 1 gig up. And it was never a full 1 gig up. So when you press upload, you went and did something. Wash the car, read War and Peace, go to lunch with your homies, hit a couple bong rips, nap, come back, wake up, bitch, still 50%. What? And was out, and at that time, was still putting out one video a week. So when I'm an a-hole, when y'all be making excuses, now you know where the a-hole come from. Because I did that joint when it was hard and expensive. And don't make me a superhero. It just means, and the reason why I had that stuff, we had an electronics store. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like Tiger Woods was good at golf because his dad was good at golf, and his dad put him on when he was 3 years old. Like it's not dissimilar. Like I'm not saying, but like at least respect the game you got right now. You know what I mean? So I would tell you hands down why I'm so curmudgeon-y about people and their damn excuses, because y'all got it made, cousin. It's like how we feel about little kids that don't have to walk from school because their parents pick them up every day. It's the same feeling for me. There was no pickup line.
Yeah.
There was no place. No parents picked their kids up from school when I was a little kid. You
No,
either
you
walked
get home how you get
or
home.
you got in a short bus.
And I always I find myself often now, I'm like, you guys, you kids don't understand how lucky you are.
Damn, it's
like
so
you
crazy
can
to
shoot
say
and
that.
edit all on your phone and upload, but like it's like really is it's such a different game now. But even something that, I believe who David Hunt was saying maybe earlier in the chat that he just realized we've been getting in front of people. It's been going on our whole lives. Just the last few years, been able to be deliberate about recording it, right? So you might have been a creator performer forever, but there's something about the recording of it now that makes things different. And what I think makes this more scary now for people is when you've been performing in front of people, like when you were doing your recital, right? There's people in the auditorium, you see them, so you can go up and know that this is not going to fall on deaf ears. Is it going to be good or bad? We'll see, but it will be seen, right? If people were in the audience, because you can tell before you go up on the stage. Now, when we make videos, it's that like, but what if no one sees it? Or what if someone sees it? It's the unknown. Like, we don't know if the room is empty or full. But like, you didn't know that then either until you stepped on the stage. So it didn't matter. You still rehearsed. You still were excited to do it. There was still joy behind it. And I guess like the inkling I wanted with the topic that we went with today was just for people to return back to like just the joy that we had in making. Just the joy that we had in picking up that camera. Like all these mini DV tapes, nothing ever happened with them yet, right? But I recorded it and it was just fun to do. It was fun to do. But it was also different then because you could have been the only person with a camera. Now, like, so at a concert, right? So like when we were at this concert the other day, the whole stadium, the Greek theater, cameras everywhere. Everybody's holding these cameras in front of their faces. Okay. So I don't feel the need to record because I'm like, somebody got it. It's fine. Somebody got it. But there was a time when we would have been the only people who had cameras. And it's like, wow, I better record this because then, I might be able to show this to somebody who didn't get to see it. So I think it is a little different now, right? And I find that for me with the internet, like I remember starting to want to be a content creator was like because not a lot of people were doing it. And it's not to say you shouldn't do it because a lot of people are doing it, but I know for me, I like the pioneer in me is like, well, okay, people got this figured out. So what's the next thing that I need to go charge forward with? You know, like I remember telling my friends in like 2000, I don't know when podcasts started, but I was like, we're going to have a podcast. We're going to do a podcast. And they're like, okay. And at that point, I should have just done it by myself. But, it was the need for the group collaboration was strong at that time.
Well, I think part of it was the safety in numbers. Like humans don't really want to realize that at the end of the day, we too are packed animals. Like we love to put
Hmm.
that on like dogs and fish and all these other things, but we too are very much pack animals. And there is safety in numbers. So the idea of trying to drag somebody to the party with you, like same here. Like I was doing my podcast, with my boy Jerry. Hey, we was doing cool as a pool, but it was always having to depend on them to have as much energy about it as me. Even when I was doing my sake podcast, which was probably more than 15 years ago, same thing. It was dependent upon my two co-hosts and eventually one co-host to be down with wanting to make it two. You know what I mean? So like I always had to depend on somebody else to come through and be where they're supposed to be and get these productions out, things like that. And so yeah, as I'm looking at these older videos, bro, like literally these things were like 16 years ago. And it's crazy. Like you had to always be ready for somebody else to be on point, and it's different. So I like what we do because we're pretty solid about it. Same with Katie and I, we're pretty solid about it. But I tell my team all the time, every time that we take our 1 month break off during Christmas for the flow and our 1 month break off for the beginning of the summer during the flow, I hate it. I don't want to do that. Like content creating
Yeah,
to
I
me
feel like
means I got to keep going.
when we miss, it's because like last minute we're like, oh yeah, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, or like, oh yeah, I'm in Idaho, or it's not like the dedicated hiatus.
And so I'm not mad at people who don't have that feeling. And I honestly tell you, like, if you don't have that feeling, you need to come to grips with that and let people know that. Because it's one thing, this is going to sound super selfish, but hey, I'm about it. It's one thing to tell us that you're about this creating situation and we believe you and we believe that. And so we're pushing you towards that and you're not really about it. And then you take a break and then you come back saying, oh, I'm back again. Like, yo, at this point, you're lying to your friends, bro. I thought we were friends. Don't lie to me. If you say, you know what, I like doing it, but I ain't like y'all, cool. I will take that. But when you say you like us, and then we always got to get in your case about why you ain't making, I feel like you're lying to me, and I don't like it. I'm absolutely
So
cool
now
with
that
you. Like, I'm not about it. I'm 60% in. I'm trying to get higher. I'll take that. Be honest. But don't be like I'm about it and I'm struggling. You're not struggling. You just half-assing. And that's okay. Like, I half-ass a whole bunch of shit. I've been cleaning this same cabinet for 8 months.
but at least he's honest about
I'll
it.
be straight about it. I've been cleaning this same cabinet for 8 months. It looked better. It ain't what I want it to be. And maybe that's a
But you're
condition.
working on
That's
it.
a condition of my condition, I guess. But at least I'll tell you, like, oh yeah, I'm still working on that. Like I have something that's been on my floor for about 4 months that I've been putting away. It's still there. It's still there. And now, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm about to use it in 2 weeks to take it with me to the mainland. So hey, it's ready.
It's ready. This is what it was for.
This is
You
what
were
it was
prepping it for the
for.
last
Like,
8 months.
like anybody who's on the team ADHD or ADD, you got one of these things. Like that pot has been out since it's been out, and then right when you about to put it away, you about to use it again. So that's your excuse. But I mean,
Yeah.
just fess up because in that way we can work towards where you're at and what you're doing if you're being true to the game. And there's nothing wrong with like this is a hobby, dog. Chill out. All right, cool. I would talk to you like it's a hobby. But when you say you about this life, I'm gonna talk to you like you about this life. And so I will adjust it accordingly. It's like if I'm talking to my friends, like my boy Masa, I can speak lower level Japanese because Masa and I are friends. And although in Japan I am his senior and he technically supposed to speak to me higher, I have given him permission to not use Keigo to me because I don't like it. But if I was to talk to Masa's dad, it's a whole different conversation. I have to speak to him like boss and, subordinate. And I can't ever change that tone. I think one of the problems we have as Americans because we don't have that level. And it's the same thing in Chinese, same thing in Korean, other languages. But because we don't have that level, we take liberties with the way we even converse with our friends. And I think it can also cause, maybe friction or, now you think you were pushing me too hard. Well, because that's the presentation that you gave. You gave the presentation that you was about it and you're not about it. So when you can't be mad at the person for pushing you too hard. It's like if you're in a relationship and you make this person believe that, you're all in, but you was just like, something to smash or whatever. And they start talking to you a certain way. And then you got to hit them with the, oh, it's not like that. Yo, you should have fessed up a long time ago. Right? That's where many of the problems start. They start talking
Yeah,
about
that was like the worst thing
kids.
for me. Like, Will like got to learn that about me early, where I was like, either you're in it or you're not, and that's okay. I just need, as long as we're all on the same page, because then I can make a decision. But I was like dragged along for years and was like too scared to say to say like, hey, what's happening here? Because people tend to be cowards. But if you're the one that's brave enough to say, like, for yourself, am I serious about this or not? And then make the decision and then act accordingly. Because then you can actually make some different choices. So now my question for you, that we've gone a little bit down memory lane and we're looking at these older videos, right? So this video from you 15 years ago,
Yes.
with what you know now, what would
Yes.
you say to that Sean Boyd, that young Sean Boyd?
Keep it gangster.
How old would you
Keep
have been
going.
there?
Whatever 15 years ago was, I can't add, woman. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know how old you are now.
Damn, hold on. Let me
It's okay.
calculate
Doesn't
this.
matter. 15 years ago. 15 years ago. Okay, what would you say to him? Keep going?
Yeah, 100%. And even if I was 43, even
Okay.
if your people don't want to do it, you still keep going. You don't need them
Yeah.
because it was good. Like the content was good. Here's the crazy thing. I knew that sake was going to catch on in the U.S. because it was something new and whatever. And so I wanted to be ahead of the game, and I was. I'm 100 episodes in ahead of the game. And then, I got two different co-hosts. I got another co-host. And then when she moved back to Japan, instead of me keeping it going, I was like, okay, that's, 3 times trying. I've been through like 5 different hosts, whatever. Let's just let it go. And I swear to you, like 6 months later, sake exploded in the U.S. I was way ahead of the game. I was 3.5 years ahead of the game.
You're doing like original wine library. You're doing
Yeah.
the
Well, I
sake
started it because of
library.
Gary. Because Gary was already
Yeah.
on wine, so I started one about sake because I had just
Yeah.
found out I couldn't really drink wine no more. Back when he
Mm.
first started Wine Library, I was doing wine. As a matter of fact, on episode 84 of his, he reviewed a wine that I helped make. I sent it to him.
Cool.
I sent him that and the Pimp Strong shirt, and he talked about both on one of his shows. So yeah, he was like, "This box," and my friend designed the label, and I hated the label from the beginning because like this label is weird as hell. I don't know about this label, but damn, this juice is good. He was like, "Yo," he's like, "This Wine Spectator would give this shit like a 91," and yo, we lived on that. We lived on that comment because it came from Gary V. And in that same episode,
What's the name of
it's called "Look Me in
the
the Eye."
wine?
Look Me in the
Oh.
Eye. And Gary V had just said that some other wine that was on that same episode or the one right before it, he had said that other wines tasted like gym socks. And that's why I loved Gary's videos back then, because I was heavy into wine culture when he first came out, and everybody liked to use the pretentious words. I was like, these words don't mean nothing to nobody. Like, what is it really about? You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Yeah,
We got look me in the eye. Hold on,
yeah, it's
I
super,
got the
super funny.
look me in the eye. That's so fun.
Yeah, so long
Look at this
before,
baby, 2009. Wow.
right? So again, I've been at this for again quite a long time. But to your point, I would just tell that person to keep going, because when I tell you guys about the 3 feet from gold, yo, I did it so many times, and I realized that a lot of that had to do with some self sabotaging type situation. But I didn't figure this stuff out until now, like legit, a couple weeks ago. But definitely
Hmm.
has some self sabotage sort of built in. And it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, good. The anybody, you could be picking up your camera for the first time, or like if you haven't picked it up for 15 years, there's something in you that wanted to do this. So I just want you to go back and think to that version of you instead of thinking about the what if it goes wrong, what if nobody sees it, what if everyone sees it, what if it's not the right direction. Is think about the joy that you got when it was first potential, and ride on that, because that's some really good energy there. And this is something that I'm finding myself. I'm trying to remind myself this same thing, is that there's a reason this is exciting to me, but if I spend too much time analyzing how to do it right, that's when nothing happens at all. And I don't want that for anybody.
Yo, I found the Gary episode. Holy crap. It was episode 746 for him. That's
Yeah, this is the one I just
crazy.
put a link in.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
episode. I mean, that's not sure how long he was doing it. He started back in '06. He started when YouTube was brand new again.
Yeah, that's so fun. Gary V. You're Gary V famous.
Yeah, I mean, people don't know. I don't talk about it because, I guess in some
I think you need to
sense,
get him on for an interview and talk
I
about this.
feel like it's something that we should have took further. But again, the problem with always wanting to have that safety net of another human being is you're at the whims of another human being.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So we spent 4 or 5 years cranking out delicious as one, and then partners was just over it, and then we just had to take the L. Great memories, learned a lot. Spent a lot of time in
Hmm.
Los Olivos, which is where the movie Sidewinder, whatever the heck the
Hmm.
movie's called.
Sideways.
Sideways, where Sideways was filmed. Ate at those restaurants, many times. I know a bunch of the people that are in those films. Spent a lot of time at some pretty famous, wine places in the back, like in the room with the bottles, like tasting stuff, like having a great time. But, and again, it goes to show you, like, that 3 feet from gold story is situationally real, bro. Like, you you give up because you hit a brick wall, and I'm the type of person that will beat a brick wall's ass. And there's other people that they just see the wall and stop. And that's the problem if you're trying to do something and you bring somebody else to the party. If you are, let's fuck this wall up, and the other person's like, wall, you're automatically screwed. So you got to be careful, like, who you're dealing with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
it's true. All right. Any actionable steps for people now that we've gone down this opened
I,
up this
I
rabbit
think.
hole?
I think it's important to take inventory of where you first thought you was in or where you got it. I think it's important to take inventory of we always say find your why, find your why, find your why. And I don't think people really do that. Um, and you really have to know what your why is.
They're like, why? Rich and famous. No.
That just doesn't work. I mean, that can
That's
be your why. Hey, I can't tell you what your why is, but
yeah.
if that's your why, it does not work. It is really hard. If you could count on a handful,
That's like
that's
a result. That's
yeah.
not the
Like I
the
think that.
driver.
Oh, wait, say that again.
It's a result, not the driver.
Ah, okay, that's a destination then,
Mm.
right? You can't say Today I'm going to outlet mall. Today you are going to the outlet mall, but outlet malling isn't the verb, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Let's
so
outlet mall today.
let's outlet mall today. Yeah, that's not the same thing. So yeah, I think that it's really important to dig into what the why is. Like, what is the burning sensation? And if you don't have the burning sensation, cool. Come to grips with that. And this, I literally made this in yesterday's video. What is your minimum viable audience? Like, if your minimum viable audience is 100, then stop letting people tell you that you need to get 50,000. Your minimum viable audience is 100. Let's get that. And then be cool with it. And then everything after that is gravy, right? I would say that my minimum viable audience was bypassed eons ago because I was cool with 1,000. You know what I mean? So this extra 19 is just whatever, man. Cool. Thank y'all for coming through. Like I didn't have to be more than that. And it's funny because it's a conversation that I have with you know Paul Senior on a regular basis. Because Paul Senior is like, yo, you should be like 100,000 people deep. I'm like, if it happens, cool. If it don't, cool. Like I am absolutely stoked with the people that do show up because I do see the work. I see what's happening. I see where they're going. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, quality.
Would it be better if it was more? Absolutely, but I ain't greedy.
But like, really, would it? Right? Would you be able to like tap in the same way? Like, if it
Oh,
was like 100,000
yeah, I
people,
got more.
right? Like,
I
there's
got
still
way
the
more
same
juice.
core group of people who are
Yeah,
going
true
to
story.
like land on them, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's more about them than you. Like,
yeah,
I know that you
100%.
got the capacity for it,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I definitely got the
yeah, but
capacity
like,
for it, but yeah.
I appreciate you just sharing that you really have been doing this so long. So when you do share stuff, I'm like, yeah, he does know what he's talking about, so listen,
Well, and also for me, more or less, it's not about the knowing. It's about I've done it, and I'm trying to save you from the dumb shit that I did. It's not about knowing to be cocky about it. It's knowing to help you, right? When somebody say, "Don't step in that," that's quicksand. They're not being an asshole. They're just trying to tell you that there's quicksand over there, and when you step in it, you will almost die. Um, God, what's his name? Gilligan, Bob Ward, not Bob Ward, Bob
mm,
Denver. No, not Bob Denver. That's not his name. Anyway, the Gilligan almost died
what's his name?
on the set.
Bob Denver.
Bob Denver. Okay, I had it right. Uh,
Yeah, you had it. Mhm.
he almost died on the set because they made the quicksand like too good,
For real. Oh
and he
no.
went in it, and then like he almost died. Like they had to pull his ass out, so they switched it to like oatmeal and sand, which is why it always looked kind of weird in comparison to real deal quicksand. And
But
it's
who knew
always
what real quicksand looked like?
oh, it's a thing in the
Yeah.
desert. Like there's a level of oh god, it's not called putrefaction. What is it called? Liquefaction, where you have sand and it's in a hole and it's loose enough that it can suck you in, and then if it's mixed in with any water and that water has drained, so you can't see that it's wet, and then you step in it, and it's the water to sand volume is too loose, like it's a real thing, like you could actually die in it,
That's
So
terrifying.
yeah, it is terrifying. So that's why it was always a thing in movies, right? Because yeah, it does happen, and a lot of people don't think it's real either. But yeah, so they ended up having to do it with oatmeal, and I feel like it. For me, it's the same situ. Chris said liquefaction is a great brand name. Why is Chris crazy? It is important that people understand that the dangers are existing. Don't ignore them, but at the same token, most of the danger is in your head, and it's kind of important to keep going because like I don't know, for me, I can say I know the people in the chat who when they don't get an opportunity to create, it actually bothers them. And if you're at the level where it actually bothers you, you are in the right spot no matter what the struggle is. But if it doesn't really bother you, that's also cool, but just understand that and then don't take it so seriously when it doesn't work. You know what I mean? I think the people who it bothers them when it doesn't work, you could take it more seriously, but that doesn't mean you have to fret. That just means you got to get better at solving for X because you're not good with this problem being unsolved. I think that's the difference. The difference is if the problem goes unsolved for you or I, it's a problem. But for some people, I could walk away for 6, 7 weeks. I don't care. That's cool. But be honest with everybody involved because it's super dirty to leave people hanging, regardless of who it is. There you go. And I say, I hate the word stress, but stress is number one created by broken promises to yourself or to somebody else. That is what a real stress is. I tell Mary Lou I'm going to pick her up at 10, and then I show up at 10:15. What she did from 10:01 to 10:14:59 was, where's this motherfucker about to make us late, blah, blah. She know how good I drive, but she be like, he said he gonna be there. And the whole time she is angry. And when she see you, she may or may not let it show. She'll be like, hey, how you doing? But trust me, for 14 and a half minutes, her brain was calculating all the myriad things that can go wrong. That, my friends, is called stress. Right? When you say I'm put out a video on Tuesday and come Thursday, and you're like, damn, I still didn't create this video. Oh my God. Now these people going to be wondering where I'm at. And then Thursday turns into Friday. Well, I can't show up now because I don't have no excuse. So I'm going to just not make it. And then now you start spiraling. That is the word stress. This is the stress that you're talking about. This is where the burnout comes in because it feels painful because you didn't do what you said you was fixing to do. So it's either better to not say nothing or just confess the truth. Like, hey, I can't come through this week. Simple. Why are you laughing? Paul got a.
I'm just like, Paul, just having you share stuff is like really. I don't know. I always like hearing it. I like hearing it because you've seen stuff and you've been through stuff and you share with everyone. So
that boy been through some things.
Yeah, you have though. You have. So thank you.
Yeah, it is.
I hope that helps y'all get unstuck.
Oh my God, I can't even spell aloha. That's how bad it is. Yo, this is good. I thank you for asking that question though. It was a decent question. It was kind of a trip to walk through the process. And yesterday I was making a video for something I got to do for Ecamm, and I just couldn't pull it. I had to legit walk away from it because it just was not happening. And I was like, why? Yeah. Why can't I do this? And I figured out what the frustration is. There's certain parts where you got to get to where you need to record something that you can't record because if you're recording, those features don't work. So now you got to use something else.
Very familiar. Yeah.
To record. And everything else to record sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what am I going to do? And I had to go home and speak on it. I think what I'm going to do is record the parts that I can't record with a side camera looking at me so I don't have to worry about what the screen is doing. And then I'll do the
I just
stuff
do QuickTime screen recorder.
Yeah, that doesn't work. The audio drift is...
It's not as nice, but it does it.
It's terrible for me. Well, the problem I have, because I have my system, the Black Magic cannot be in two places at one time. Whereas the standard capture card can.
Yeah.
So when I have something connected to the Black Magic, it doesn't work. And so I'm like, oh, this. So now I've got to go bust out the old webcam and use the webcam as the master cam. I just thought you just made me think about it. Never mind. Shut up. Bye, Mary Lou.
What? That using the what happened? What just happened?
Because I was just thinking like, oh, wait a minute. I could use the Osmo Pocket 3 as the main camera because then it's not the Black Magic and then it doesn't matter.
It's like I thought it and it landed in your head.
Don't make me cry. Never mind. I was just thinking,
that's right. Better together. Better together.
How I was going to do it, but hey, we just solved that problem. Good thing I brought it up.
That's my friend Doc Rock over there, and he's just been unstuck.
I can't stop laughing. Oh my God, that is my homie Mary Lou Mandel. You can find her all over the internets at Mary Lou Mandel with no E. Well, except the other one. And if you find another one, that person is an imposter because they ain't but one of her. There's that.
Yes. And you guys stick with it, do it. Like it'll be you do it now, or you'll be looking back at 15 years and be like, oh, I wish I would have done it 15 years ago.
There you
Right.
go.
So just do it.
Oh my
Get
God.
unstuck.
The amount of times I look back at those 15 years ago and say, I wish I had done it. Anyway, let me play this thing.
You have been unstuck. With creators Unstuck, Doc Rock, and Mary Lou Mando.
Hey, you know what we say around here? See you, get it? See you, creators unstuck. It's still funny. It's still funny. Oh my God! Listen, let me answer Dave's question real quick. Dave, what do you want to know about celebrating the wins? Yo, I celebrate all the little wins. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy
Anytime I'm like, yes, let's
when
go.
something doesn't work and then you make it work. The amount of like, I just hit a walk-off homer. Right? Like, you're you plug in something in and it's not catching, and you've been through 8 cables and you're swearing and you say something and then you hit it and it works. And I'll be like, yeah, I told you I'm the boss around here, you stupid computer. You can't mess with me. Like, I legit do shit like that. Like, I celebrate all of them little wins, bro. Like, you don't even understand. Even today when I got up, I was like, bro, I am in like 43 levels of pain and I have no idea why. It just didn't feel right. But I said, you know what? We're just going to power it through. So I walked into the kitchen. I drank a little bit of water, drank my protein, made some coffee. And after having coffee, I was like, all right, my body feels a little bit better. It just must have slept crooked or something. I was like, all right, we got this. Let's go. Let's go kick some ass. Like, we ready. Like, it's that dumb. It's that dumb for me. If I win a parking space, celebrate. If I skeet somebody in traffic real quick, you guys been in the car, you know what it's like. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, you can't outrun me. Like, I'll be like that all the time. Even if I'm in the store and I find something that I wasn't looking for, but I know I like it really need it, I'm like, hell yeah, this the one. Like, I am obsessive with celebrating every little victory because Lil Wayne. Not Lil Wayne, Lil John. He just messed up. Little John. Go find the track. Thank God that I'm alive. Whoa. Like, that'll get you kicked. That'll get your juices flowing. Go listen to that song. Thank God that I'm alive by Lil John. Yeah. And then you'll be fired up. You'll be fired up for the whole day. Like, it's.
What I think sometimes the issues for people in celebrating wins, because what David just said now, I thinks it helps for those times when you feel stuck, is people are hesitant to celebrate wins because they feel like that's what it just should be, right? Like, this would happen to me. I would make straight A's and I would come home and I'm so excited I made straight A's, and it's like, well, yeah, you shouldn't do anything less than straight A's would be what I would be met with. So it's like, oh, then that doesn't get to be celebrated because it just should be the status quo. And it's like, yeah, yes and no, right? But you feel like you don't deserve to be celebrated because you feel like the win is what it should have been. But when you lose or you're got a setback, then you must inflict punishment. It's not even like if the win doesn't matter, then the lose doesn't matter. You just keep it chugging along. It's if the win happens, well, that's what it should have been, and you're lucky you did it, and then the loss or the setback deserves punishment, is what I picture from my
you're right.
life
I
experience.
think you're 100% right. And you think about it, like, I'm looking at Ortiz over here. His job was to hit home runs. And when he hit them, you imagine him walking around the bases and doing the, and like, to the fans in Boston, you imagine if he just walked around the base and then walked back in and sat down like it wasn't no thing? No, because you had 40,000 people screaming, Poppy, Poppy. Like, that's the thing. That's his only job. I mean, he did play first base, but, I mean, his job was hit home runs. Why do we let those people enjoy those celebrations, but our parents is real good for, hey, you got straight A's, well, that's what you're supposed to do. Correct. I did it. I'm going to still celebrate it. Right? We didn't have the language or the verbs or the bravery to say such things back then.
Hmm.
But yes, 100%. Like even doesn't matter that that's your thing. Like you celebrate the fact that you did it again. It's almost like celebrating that you woke up today. Your only job tomorrow is wake up. And
Hmm.
so the minute you stop appreciating each wake up, you kind of effed already.
Yeah. Right. It's like the fact that we breathe, that our body knows how to breathe. Well, it's like, well, that's what should happen. Well, it's like, I don't know, let's celebrate that. Like, that's pretty cool that our
I
body
bet.
just does the things to keep us, operating on this, on this plane. So I hope, go celebrate something useful for you and reparent yourself. Don't punish yourself for the, shortcomings, like for what somebody else didn't understand. This
Just
is really where I'm sitting with a lot
reparent
of this. It's like,
yourself.
yeah. And like, we don't need to punish ourselves. We just got to be like, okay, I don't like how this feels. What can we do? Let's change that. You were like talking about like ADHD stuff and ADD. And I was like looking up stuff about bipolar. And there was like some things that I'm like, someone I know is this, but like would not have had the access to any kind of diagnosis or help or thinking about that kind of thing. But it's like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. It's hard. It's hard for people, right? And like a lot of this stuff, the emotional intelligence, the mental health talk, the just even considering these things as real things is fairly recent,
Yeah. And here's the
So
here's what I'm discovering is the problem for me
mhm.
because now the light has been shed into this corner. It's not as dark as it used to be. And because now everybody's talking about it, I used to not want to go there because I didn't want to be in the same place as everybody else. Right? I'm like, that can't be me. But it turns out it's absolutely me. And my identity has always been don't fall for the BS that people be throwing out there because it becomes fashionable. But if the shoe fits, Cinderella, you put that bitch on. Right? And so now I have to learn to walk a mile in heels. Because the shoe fits, dog. Like you was lying. All of this. Paul almost died laughing at that. um, you was lying to yourself because you were trying so hard not to fall into the quote unquote diagnoses of somebody else that I was in denial. It's almost no different than the alcoholic, right? If you're denying it, you can't heal it if you don't admit you got it. So now that I know I got it, and I also know that there is no healing for it either, but now I got to celebrate the fact that at least I know what's going on. And so when those little demons raise up, I could punch a demon in their little demon nuts. Tell me get the fuck out of my face. I got things to do.
Right. And that relates to what you were saying earlier about like, are you about this creator life? Are you not? It's just getting honest with yourself and then working with the facts. Right.
And I've
That's
always been about
all.
that,
It's
right?
not.
I've always been
Yeah.
about the
And it was
facts.
just like you didn't have language for this fact, right? You had emotion mixed up in that fact.
I thought
The
I was holier than
emotion.
thou because I was strong enough
Yeah.
to work around it. But then when you lose that strength, like I had the thought the other day, I no longer can run from a zombie. I'm gonna have to fuck a zombie up. Good thing I can shoot. I can't run. My knees don't work.
Yep.
The zombies start coming,
Hmm.
brains. I'd be like, man, I'm gonna let you know I'm 40 out of 40 at the military range. I would take you out, but I can't run from the zombie. Best I can do is like, y'all go ahead and run. I'll take all the weapons. I'll just take them out from here. Y'all run. I got this. Because I ain't
Yeah.
going nowhere with my badass knees. I will push Paul in
Yeah.
front to the first zombie. And then I'll push the little Paul in front because he like a little snack to the zombie. But I ain't running. Where am I going? Me and Aubrey would just have to sit there and like shoot at zombies.
Just try to have a conversation.
And,
Like,
and
have you ever
Aubrey
thought
would,
about having a podcast?
Aubrey would be like, which one are we supposed to shoot again? Or have you seen this new fountain pen? I wonder if you stab a zombie with a fountain pen, what would happen? Look, she got one in her head.
And
I
then
just
you're
wanna
like,
say-
wait, let me get the camera.
Yeah.
This is how you stab a zombie in the face.
Mary
with a
Lou would be
fountain
like,
pen.
Mary Lou would be like, zombie, hold up. We need to get that. This will make a good short. Listen, I need you to back up and come in again. Walk a little slower this time. You're moving a little fast. This is not V for.
And the dance move is this.
Juju said, "Hey, I'm becoming an editing addict. Welcome to the party, Ju." And she said, "I'm having a ball figuring stuff out. I'm like a 5-year-old when I'm figuring out how to do something. 100%. That's me last month in DaVinci when I be figuring things out in DaVinci. I'd be like, oh, hey, girl." It's super funny. It's so stupid, but it is 100% true. It was 100% true. It's a drug we love, CL, but you know how to control it. You know how to control it's a gem, 100%. Like it is true that this life is a drug. And when you get those wins, Paul did say, like, you might post 20 videos that flop, but when you get that one, that win, that's the addiction. That's part of BJ Flood. And, you know, catching those rewards every once and again keeps you going. So if you get into the Flood hierarchy of how we do this, and then you match that up with Maslow, finding a place to be, like, yeah, this is a loop. It is very addicting. And I know now my addictive habits. And the funniest thing to me, knowing how bad my addictive habits are, is that because I was lucky enough to watch, this is so weird to say out loud, I was lucky enough to watch somebody find an early demise because of drugs. I never let the drug habit become a habit. Because if I hadn't have seen that, I could have very much become like a drug addict. No problem. Like I have a very addictive personality. Like it's crazy the things that I could be addicted to.
Yeah, well, like I'm glad you're addicted to just making videos, right?
Yeah,
You know, like
addicted to
making
hanging out
videos
with
every
y'all.
day is a compulsion, right?
Yeah.
It's because you need the hit, you need the dopamine, you know,
Oh.
and at least it's a helpful thing, right? It's a good thing. It's productive use of an addictive trait.
Number
But
one thing I
it's
figured out this week is what the dopamine hits are and where I've been catching them. I'm like, oh, that explains a whole lot of shit we won't talk about on the internet.
like what?
I said we won't talk about on the internet.
Oh, I see. Okay. So
that's a Massachusetts conversation.
there's 17 weeks left in the year. So we're in the last third of the year, and you're about to hit your year of your videos. So I'm sure you'll continue, but is there anything between now and the end of the year that you're like, yeah, we're going to get this done. We're going to be, is there
am
something?
close. I am super close. I'm really hoping that I just cracked that 20K by the end of the year.
Yeah, I think you're going to do it.
And so what'd be funny about it if I do it would have been like, even if I told somebody I'm going to make 300 videos just to get to 10,000 subscribers, because that's what it would have equated to, I did it. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because you told somebody that you can get to 10,000 just by making 100 videos. They're not going to listen. They're going to be hard-headed about it because they want to get 10,000 in one video.
They want the 10,000 first to prove that somebody wants to look at them.
Yeah.
Right?
It's kind of crazy, but it don't work that way.
Yeah.
So that would be
the kind of thing.
Party if I could pull it off. By the way, people, anybody who's still kicking it with us, Saturday I am going to do a birthday stream. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Not this Saturday, right?
Next Saturday. It'll be the 13th. I'll be a day off, but
yeah,
I'm gonna do a birthday stream.
Because your birthday is which
12.
day? The 12th?
12.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just come through.
Stream Friday. What are you doing? What are you talking about? Let's have the birthday party.
On Friday? I have Ecamm Tech Talks and some other things popping off.
I see. Okay, that's fine. We have a Saturday party. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. At this age, you'll
I'll
give a
be
shit
there.
what day of the week it falls on.
Yeah, we start celebrating now.
You still on? Thank God that I'm alive.
Congrats, David Hunt. Made it into the YPP.
There you go.
Hello, Eden.
Oh, why she got to come around here? Sup, E Boogie? Yeah, this is super good. Drew said, I'm aiming for my first podcast with my sisters. Let's go. See, Drew, you know if you hang out with us, you about to be in there. You know what I mean? Oh my God, here she go. Why she say this? Oh my God, this 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 freaking Eden, bro. I knew it. I knew it. Yeah. Anyway, this is super cool, man. I'm just loving what we're doing, and
Yeah, it was
yeah,
delightful conversation. Sweet. I didn't want to get into. I just wasn't in the mood for too serious today.
yeah. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
And here I'm gonna send Eden. You gotta listen to Stray Kids Ceremony. That's more my move. That's my cut right there. That's my current favorite cut. Anyway, all right, gang. We will see y'all on a Saturday. I'm laughing at Eden, bro. Yeah, we'll see y'all next week, and then next week Tuesday. And yeah, if you got questions, let it come through. No Hershey, I'm not eating broccoli for my birthday. Go away. You're not getting me, damn it.
Just let him live. Let him have cake
No,
if that's,
I'm not.
if the
I'm
shot will
not.
let you.
I'm not listening to Hershey, bro. He trying to get me in trouble again. This is super cool, man. Thank you guys for coming through. Great show.
Yeah, thank you.
So much fun today. So appreciate you. And you know what it is. Peace out. A-Town Stump. Paul is just wrong. Bye.